Hot, dry, and unstable conditions. 4 words. That is how the National Weather Service says it. No drama, no screaming headline. Just 4 quiet words printed in a box on a weather map, painted red over eastern Washington. And if you have never lived in fire country, those 4 words might not sound like much, so let me translate them for you. Those 4 words mean the sky itself has just become the enemy. Those 4 words mean every firefighter in Spokane looks up, checks the wind, and says a word I cannot say on this channel. Those 4 words mean that for the next 36 hours, the fire does not need help anymore. The weather is helping it. The warning ran from 11 in the morning on Friday to 11 at night on Saturday. 36 hours, and here's the fact that should stop you cold. It was the second red flag warning Spokane had faced in 1 week, 2 in 7 days. This is the story of a city that got knocked down, started to stand up, and got hit again while it was still on one knee. And at the end, I am going to tell you why scientists say this is not a freak event. It is a preview. So stay with me. First, what is a red flag warning really? Not the official definition, the real one. Fire needs 3 things: fuel, heat, and air. A red flag warning is the Weather Service saying that all 3 are about to line up at the worst possible levels at the same time. Hot means the air itself is baking the moisture out of every stick and blade of grass. Dry means the humidity has dropped so low that a single spark can catch in seconds. Unstable means the air is moving in columns, rising fast, swirling, unpredictable, which lets a fire build its own wind, jump lines, and throw embers a mile ahead of itself. Add wind on top of that, and you do not have a fire anymore. You have a freight train. Now let me take you through Spokane's week, because the timing is the whole story. The first punch came at the start of the month. The first red flag warning landed right as the fires were young and at their most violent. That is when the worst damage happened. That is the weather that turned 3 fires into a disaster. The wind-driven runs that ate neighborhoods, the embers raining on rooftops, the evacuation orders flying out at 2 in the morning. Spokane took that punch full in the face. More than 900 structures, tens of thousands of people running from their homes with laundry baskets and photo albums. Then, midweek, something almost cruel happened. The weather softened, temperatures dipped a little, humidity rose a little, the wind laid down, and for about 2 days, Spokane got to breathe. I want you to picture what that breath felt like. Crews finally building line faster than the fire could take it. Containment numbers appearing on the maps for the first time. Families in shelters looking at their phones and seeing the first good news in a week. Fire officials choosing their words carefully at briefings. Not celebrating, nobody celebrates, but allowing the word progress. People letting themselves think the sentence they had been afraid to think. Maybe we are going to be okay. That breath lasted about 2 days, because on Thursday, the Weather Service issued the second warning. 11 Friday morning to 11 Saturday night. Hot, dry, unstable. Again. Now here is the detail that makes this second punch so much crueler than the first. The first red flag warning hit fresh firefighters, crews who had just arrived, legs that were strong, hands that were not yet cracked, lungs that had not yet breathed a week of smoke. The second warning hit an army that had been on the line for nearly a week straight. Firefighter fatigue is not like being tired at work. It is a physical state that fire commanders track like a disease. 16-hour shifts day after day, sleep in chunks of a few hours on the ground at fire camp, heat stress stacking up in the body day after day because one cool night is not enough to flush it out. Reaction times slow, judgment blurs, the accident rate climbs. Every fire chief in America will tell you the same thing. They do not fear day 1, they fear day 7. The second red flag warning arrived on day 7. So picture the scene Friday morning, 200 plus personnel exhausted, standing on freshly cut fire lines, lines that had never once been tested, because that is the thing about a containment line. You do not know if it works until the wind tells you, and the wind was about to tell them. What did they brace for? The nightmare scenario is called a spotting event. Unstable air lifts burning embers high into the column, the wind carries them a quarter mile, half a mile, and drops them on the wrong side of the line. The side with the homes, one ember in the wrong place, and a week of work is gone in an afternoon. Crews posted lookouts, engines staged behind the lines, ready to chase spots. Everybody watched the sky. Friday came, the heat came, the wind came, and the lines held. Saturday came, more heat, more wind, the lines held. By Saturday night, when the warning expired at 11 p.m., the containment map had not just survived, it had grown. 47% on Autumn Lane, 43 on Fairview, 31 on Old Trails. The footprint had not moved, 10,332 acres. The second punch landed on a guard that held. And there is a layer of this story that did not make the maps at all: the smoke. While the second red flag warning was testing the fire lines, the air itself was punishing the whole region. Air quality alerts stretched across multiple Washington counties. For the elderly, and Spokane has a lot of retirees, smoke is not an inconvenience. It is a medical event. Emergency rooms see it after every bad smoke week. Asthma attacks, chest pain, seniors whose lungs simply cannot filter what August is pushing into them. Health officials were telling people to stay indoors, run filters, seal windows. Think about that. A city that just escaped the flames was now being told the air itself was dangerous. The disaster did not need the fire to spread to keep hurting people. It had the sky. And picture what the second warning did to the families already evacuated. You are sitting in a shelter or a hotel. You have already lost your home, or you do not know if you have lost it. And now the alert goes out that the most dangerous fire weather of the week is coming. Again, for 36 hours, every evacuated family in Spokane watched the wind the way sailors watch a storm. Fire officials said later that the phones at the information lines lit up all Friday and Saturday. Not with new evacuees, with the same terrified question over and over: is the fire moving again? Is it coming back? It was not coming back, but nobody knew that at the time. That is what a second punch does. It does not have to land to do damage. It just has to make you flinch for 36 hours straight. That is genuinely remarkable. Do not let anyone tell you it is not. Fire lines built in 4 days by exhausted people do not usually survive their first red flag test. These did. Somewhere in that fact is a story about how good those crews actually are. But now I have to tell you the part nobody at the press conferences wants to say out loud. The part about what 2 red flag warnings in 7 days actually means. Because it is not luck. It is not a freak week. And fire scientists have been warning about exactly this for years. Here is what the data says in plain words. The fire season in the American West is not what it was 30 years ago. It starts earlier. It ends later. The snow melts sooner, the spring rains shut off sooner, and the summer heat bakes the land harder and longer. Places like Spokane, which used to think of catastrophic wildfire as something that happened to California, something they watched on the news with sympathy, are learning that the map has moved. The fire country now includes them. And the signature of this new era is exactly what Spokane just lived through. Not one bad fire weather day per season, but clusters, waves, one heat dome, then another, one red flag warning, then another, then another. The fire does not need to win every day. It only needs to win once. The firefighters have to win every single day. That is the math of the New West, and it is brutally unfair. And if you want to know what the second warning meant for the people making decisions, picture the incident commanders on Thursday night. They have 200 plus exhausted people on the line. They have a forecast that says the next 36 hours will be the worst test yet. And they have a choice: pull crews back to safety and risk the line, or keep them forward and risk the people. Every red flag night, someone in a trailer makes that call, knowing that fire history is full of memorials to crews who were one ridge too far forward when the wind turned. The fact that Spokane came through the second warning with the lines held and every firefighter accounted for is not luck. It is 1,000 small, correct decisions made by tired people under pressure. What does that mean for Spokane practically? It means the conversation in that city is about to change forever. Building codes, brush clearance laws, evacuation planning, insurance, and the insurance crisis that is coming is a whole story by itself. It means a city that thought of August as the month of county fairs and lake trips now has to think of August the way Florida thinks of September. The month when you watch the sky. 2 red flag warnings in 1 week used to be the kind of thing old-timers would talk about for 30 years. Remember that August? The scientists are telling us clearly and repeatedly that the honest response now is different. Get used to it. Spokane survived the second punch. The lines held, the footprint froze, and the comeback is real. I told that story, and it deserves telling. But the sky is not done with eastern Washington. Not this year and not in the years to come. So here is the question I will leave you with. If 2 red flag warnings in 1 week is the new normal, if this is just what August is now, is your town ready? Is your brush cleared? Is your go bag packed? Do you know your evacuation route? Because the next 4 quiet words are already being written somewhere. Hot, dry, unstable. And here is a habit worth building starting tonight. Learn to read the fire weather yourself. It is not hard. When you see a forecast with temperatures in the 90s, humidity under 20%, and wind over 20 miles an hour, that is a red flag day, whether the Weather Service has issued the box yet or not. On those days, you do not burn anything, you do not mow dry grass at noon, you do not park a hot vehicle on a field, and you keep the go bag by the door. The people who survived the new fire era will not be the ones who waited for the warning. They will be the ones who learned to see the warning coming in the forecast 3 days early. Because the sky is not done, it is just reloading. So here is where Spokane stands tonight after the second punch, bruised, smoke-stained, exhausted, and still standing. The lines held, the crews held, the city held. 2 red flag warnings in 7 days threw everything the atmosphere had at this place, and the place did not break. That is worth saying out loud because in the new fire era, survival itself is the victory. But do not mistake survival for safety. August has weeks left, September follows it, and the forecast models for the West say the dice are loaded hot and dry. Spokane took the sky's best shot twice and held. The next town should be so ready. One more thing the scientists want you to understand because it changes how you read every future forecast. Red flag warnings used to be rare enough that each one was an event. Ask a veteran firefighter from the 90s and he will tell you he worked whole seasons with 1 or 2. Now the districts stack them like storm warnings. When a weather alert becomes routine, the public's ear goes numb, and numb ears are how warnings stop working. Fight that numbness. Treat every red flag day like the first one you ever saw. The day you shrug at one is the day it matters most. Watch the forecast, clear the brush, pack the bag, the red box is coming back.